Da, da, da. Yeah, after last night, I just kind of wanted to get straight into this, because I genuinely, after last night, this was just running through my head last night after getting done, so we're just gonna go. I'm starting early, because there are some things I want to check. Plus, we're gonna start where I stopped. Yeah, because that's where that is. Oh boy, there is. Yeah, there's something I want to check, because this has been bugging the crap out of me. Yeah, because I think this is it. Okay. It's not this. There it is. Okay. So I want to see how this starts again, because I think this is where the one starts. I think. Because this is different from what happened. It's showing her name now. Or wait, no. This was originally her. Take a little break. Want to keep going. Alright. So wait. Such a long journey. Mansion I'm looking for. He could have said something. Oh well. Should get going, I guess. Does no one live here? That's the case. Why was I... It's not locked. Yeah, this is... Is this the original? Yeah, nothing's changed. Yet. Yeah, bright. Drape, seal light beyond. And then, Michael comes up. Or the windows. Okay, hang on. So then, abundance of candles, oil for lamps. Yeah, so this is proof that we were lied to. Yeah, because she was, in the story she was chased. But here she wasn't. Not merely a witch, cursed witch. Very real. Yeah, I know. It was Morgana. We know that. Okay, so that was a lie. And just because I want to fucking see it again. Because, holy crap, that was a moment. Yeah, something seemed off. Not only with the story she just told, with her, and with you yourself. I've already done this already, but it's like, this was such a cool moment. Wish or not, my mind is made up. Which will strike you first, regret or the curse. Seem to be doing just fine. It's only a tale, which is real, very much so. It's not a legend, nor a fairy tale. The witch is me, which that was a lie. That's right, it wasn't the white-haired girl I claimed to be. That wasn't all. Yeah, there was a painting guy. Proclaim yourself no matter the cost. If you sincerely prepared to do that, beware the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that, a fabrication. None of your questions have been answered. You still don't know who the painting was. Where it had taken place so long to cause the mansion to summon people. They didn't even know who you were for the matter. There was still more to be done. You had to find the truth. Yeah, we gotta go all Persona 4. Minus getting the absolutely busted godlike figure. You need to find someone that much for certain, but the story the maid told you correct about who. And if it was, yeah, what about her? Woman whose name you couldn't say, who had so cheerfully called you master. We would live together in the same house, so we got plenty of time. Hope you can make your own list about me. Just beginning. We got a long, long time ahead of us. Plan to get to know each other now. You must say her name. Take her hand. Make her smile once again. Which, this was a trip. I don't like those sounds. I forgot the sounds. Dark, dark, dark. Constantly engulfed in darkness. Threw it away every single time. I must break out of this darkness. I'll give you a world that's not cruel to you. Man, I don't like those sounds. Because that's the reason. Oh, I've got a wonderful idea. I came here. And curse them with me. I must return, must reclaim. We can think of new ways to torture them. I'll be happier if you stay here. Just think about it. Stay here in this world. Right at home. No, I did the best I could for you. Nothing more. This is not where I belong. No matter how much a world of darkness may suit me, I must reclaim my true self. Oh, those sounds are bad. You have any idea how terrible a decision that is? Oh boy, we're gonna find out. You have any idea why I fabricated that story? So stay here, stay right where you are. Darkness suits you better. Remember when someone told you not long ago, you could handle the stories because they weren't your own, able to bear the tragedies because they happened to others. If that had been your suffering, kept buried away for so long had come out, you couldn't possibly have endured it. Yeah, well, let's find out. Let's fucking ball. Take you those secrets. I think I'm gonna let you do that. Whatever you tried to hide, I'll make sure your beloved hears every last detail. Foolish can you be? Encouragement, you insist on getting your old self back. What do you have to gain? Nothing but filthy, ugly tragedy awaits you down this path. Oh boy, that's the point, ain't it? Don't get your hopes up. Nothing for you there. You have nothing. You have a place. You should take it. No salvation. None. Uh-huh. I know. Lost grip on reality. Think there's anything you can do for her now. It's repeatedly failed. Uh-huh. So as if you're gonna be stubborn. Much as I don't want to. I have to place. Rather you not. That's rather rude. That's right. White-haired girl. Was never at the mansion. Alright, so let's see where this fucking goes. There is still a story left untold. What? The fourth door was all a lie. What do you mean? It was not some sweet little tragedy. The story you told was pure fantasy. No, that was the truth. That was where it all began. Because of what happened then, you spent innumerable years lost until you showed up here and... What? You reached out, grasping for it. You pull yourself in. Your silhouette, which had been hazy until now, begins to take form. Your mind, your consciousness, your heart, soul, and your body. Who are you? Veil in your mind dissipates. Crack forms in the shell encasing you, then another. Invisible shackles chaining your spirit fall to the floor. Reality fades in atop the indistinct, foggy world around you. I don't like that. Bony fingers appear before your eyes. Long hair. Voice, no. My voice. My body. My fingers. My arms are frail and my joints are weak. Despite my resemblance to the white-haired girl, I'm not her. This is who I am. I finally reclaimed myself. You weren't waiting for the white-haired girl. You were waiting for me. And that's exactly why I came here. What? I have no idea what you are talking about. Where are we going? I've always waited for the white-haired. There was never a white-haired girl. There was only... This time I must say her name. She is Giselle. There was only you. I am Giselle. No, I'm not Giselle. So wait, no, that was... Wait. I'm a servant of the house. And I'm the witch, the cause... No, you're not. You are not a witch. The witch is someone else. Why do you insist that you're the witch? What changed you so much? I'm not gonna like that answer. The shadowy figure in the master bedroom, that was her. Oh yeah, I saw that. It's getting a That's weird. I saw the announcement for that and I was wondering like why, but also it's House of the Dead too, so fair enough. Glimpse into her past. I'm sure this is Giselle, but why is she so different? What happened to the spark she used to have? Where did the light she once shone upon the world go? I have to remember. I must remember. This cannot end until I have. This is no longer a story. No, what I need to face is my past and her heart. She was not even present in the story she made up. Everything about it had been changed. The past I lived in, the wounds she bore were more ground into harsh reality, not wrapped in a film of fairy tale magic. That was the final tale, and it was all true. That's how it happened. It was a bittersweet story. No, how can you not see this? Yes, it was a beautiful tragedy. But was there even a scrap of humanity in it? Huh? Beyond the 3 preceding doors, there had been a constant thread of ugliness and conflicting motivations. Oh! But there was hardly a trace of that behind the 4th door. Characters felt like... Oh, that's cool, actually. I've seen some, like, homebrew stuff with that, and it does look cool. I just never looked into it. The characters felt nothing more than characters. Is that what you want to turn into? Is that what you want our history to become? Our history. But I don't remember anything at all. You don't remember anything. No, I don't want to. I don't need a past or a future. All I have left inside me is uncertainty. Giselle. No, that's not my name. Please stop trying to confuse me. I'm fine with things the way they are. If it means I don't have to hurt, that's all I want. Jesus Christ. Please just let me keep being the me. And let me keep being a guy, not some foolish girl. Is that what she honestly desires? Does she want to cast aside her past for good? If so, then... Alright, time to save. So I'm guessing this is also going to be an ending. I'm so sorry. You'll have to go into hiding after you burn the bodies, I take it. So, let's see the first one. I can't force her to do something she doesn't want to. She doesn't reclaim herself on her own. I'll never get to hear her say my name. If she wants to leave all that behind her, then it's not my place to interfere. No, we're not doing that. I just want to see... how this goes. I've done things that would warrant her wanting to react to past erasing me entirely. I think more than anything, afraid of hurting her or breaking her any more than she already is. No, mine is a more cowardly fear. No, fucking isn't. I'm just afraid she'll no longer take my hand. Alright then. What should have been behind the door was our life together, but for her there's nothing but misery there anymore. Time together and in me. Forget everything I've said. The tale within the fourth door was the whole truth. No, it fucking wasn't. We're not accepting that. I can live with that. We're not going to. Absolutely not. Just ask you to allow me one thing. Man by your side. Be like the G... I mean, do you see that the voice actor for the G-Man started making tweets at the beginning of the year? Of course you may. I was the one who asked you. Forget about everything and live in eternal darkness with me. What a silly question. Do you think I would ever say no? Right. You did, didn't you? Yes, I did. Or not, I will banish the memory. I'm sure you were simply disoriented, having learned who you are. Yeah, that was a thing that blew my goddamn mind, because he even did, like, a voice thing, like the G-Man. There's nothing to fear, only happiness awaits you. Ah, shit. Okay. I was wondering, because something that happened in the last story was, like... It was weird, but it was really cool. Getting excited. What should we do first? We should throw a party in the commemoration of your decision to remain here with me. I should prepare the most wonderful feast, sweet girl. So you forget all about him, alright? Huh? If that is what you desire, I will never be anyone ever again. Shit, we threw away our identity because someone was getting sad. You're not the brightest, are you, my dear? You knew what would happen if you took this road. You would have been happier going down it without reclaiming yourself at all. This is absolutely brilliant. Weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Centuries-long wish has finally been realized. One thing I didn't expect was for you to recover yourself. It all turned out the same in the end. You know what? Sure. I'll stay out of your way, and I'll pray for you both to be happy. Hey, we're not gonna get happiness. That's not how this story's gonna fucking end. Thank goodness you've awoken. Worried. Oh, this is just how the thing ends on the other one. Chamomile leaves. Taste of change since we last met. No, that will do. Oh, because we actually talk now, so that's the difference. For you to compliment my tea again. To say it's the best you've ever had. Huh? Oh, yes. I'm sure I'll have something nice to say about it. Oh, this is gonna get really fucking depressing. You're never one to withhold your praise. Gentle-mannered, kind-hearted girl. Have I ever praised her tea before? I do recall telling her when I saw her gathering strange weeds from the garden for her herbal tea. That doing so in this house, given its reputation, only made her look like a real witch. How did she react to that? I think she puffed her cheeks and frowned, and then... I can't remember. She thinks I'm the white-haired girl, yet she calls me master, completely oblivious to how absurd that sounds. She won't say my name. Eventually I'll probably forget it too. My name, who I am, everything that's happened to us. Washed away by the darkness, never to be found. Again, she's smiling. I know it's not real, but honestly I don't care anymore. All that matters is she's smiling. Hang on. Damn it. Alright, so that's an ending. Cool. Bonjour, poupée. Cool. Why are they still crossed out? Like, Jesus Christ. Alright, well, here we fucking go. We're gonna open those wounds. No matter what she says, I know I'm right. And if she doesn't reclaim her old self, I'll never get to hear her say my name again. And I know I'm being selfish here, but I can't do that. Damn. If you're afraid of what you might find, we can remember together. I haven't gotten everything back yet myself. So let's open the real door together. There are no other doors to open. But there is. One that can only open by our hands because it exists between the two of us. Not a door with physical form, but the door to your heart. Oh. Terrible. Door 2. Grasp her naturally cold hand that long ago once had warmth. If she can't lead the way, then I have to. Must pick up the pieces of our erased history so we can both reclaim ourselves. Find the actual truth. Cool. Someone cue the Persona 4 music. No matter what we may uncover, I will not let go of this hand. No, I mustn't let go of it. Alright. Darkness falls over the world around us. The floor upon which we had been standing flickers out of existence, sending us dropping into an endless abyss. This dark pit, this is her door. Her history, her heart. Let's try this one more time. It's not a sweet story by any means. Oh, I'd be disappointed if it was. It's a story of betrayal, anger, hatred. We caused each other pain, but that's the road we traveled. And down that road lies all the answers. $10.99. So this is the actual story. Okay. Fucking let's let it rip. It had been several days since I left the capital. I could still see it when I closed my eyes. People lined up on the Grand Point, awaiting entry, eager to start a new life there, brimming with hope. It was a city people were willing to pay high taxes to live in. Alright, problem number 1. If you're a performer, you could get in some of those costs shaved down by a bit by putting those skills to use. Capital was harsh on those who wanted in, and apathetic about all who left. It was composed of a powerful nobility and clergy, wealthy merchants and bankers, and a large population of poor. And it was the city I had called home for a long time. I didn't know much about where I was heading. Okay, so this is the cutscene I just showed at the mirror. It's getting foggy. Looks like it might rain. Maybe we should take a little break. You want to keep going? Oh, alright then. Coachman was frustratingly taciturn. He acted as though he had gotten stuck transporting a prisoner. Though that was hardly a stretch. From his point of view, I was nothing more than a criminal. Even the times he would acknowledge I had said anything, he made no effort to hide the scorn in his eyes, to pretend he didn't regret ever taking this job. And I would just fall silent again. The road was gradually getting narrower. We had long since left the paved city roads behind and were now traveling along a couple worn-down grooves in the forest. How did I end up here? That's a great question! Why was I being subjected? I was done thinking about it. The more I thought on it, the less fair it seemed. The more I remembered, the worse it hurt. All I could do anymore was close my eyes and weather the storm. Deep within the dense woods, mansion appeared before us like the world fading into view after a dream. It didn't seem to be an especially large house, but it had obviously been constructed with a great deal of care, and it was thankfully not standing in ruins. This deep in the forest. The carriage came to a stop and the coachman climbed down, signaling with his chin for me to get out. Thank you very much. You must be tired after such a long journey. This is the mansion I am looking for, yes? But the driver didn't even acknowledge me, getting back onto the carriage and setting off into the forest. He seemed to want to get as far away from here as quickly as possible. He could have said something. Oh well. That was about all I could say anyway. Oh well. I couldn't blame anyone for my being here, or his wanting to get out. I should get going, I guess. Getting a better look at it, the house's windows were strangely enough all shuttered. It was probably dark as pitch inside. Does no one live here? But if that's the case, then why was I placed my hand on the front door. Such a big door. What if I couldn't get in? I had no idea what else there was in the area. If the door didn't open, then I would die out here in the forest. I've come to accept much, but I was not ready to forfeit my life yet. Please open. It's not locked, I guess. The door is heavy, and though it seemed to protest Jesus Christ. Protest my attempts to enter, it still opened much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Looking in, I got the strangest impression the light was being swallowed up by the mansion steps. Rather than going inside, it felt as though I was about to step outside the boundaries of this world. When I closed the door, it was so dark I couldn't even tell where I was walking. I wonder if the window's open. Though I managed to fumble my way over to a window, it was tightly shuttered and the shutters caked with rust. I was probably not getting it open without a fight. Darn, not a hint of light. I couldn't even see my hand waving in front of my face. It felt as though the floor would fall out from under me and I would sink into eternal darkness if I didn't watch my step. Finding back that fear, I slowly walked forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There was a door at the end of the long corridor. I pulled it open, and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushed past me. It was too dark to see anything, but I could feel something different present in the area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness gripped me. Hello? Is anyone there? Please don't tell me it's actually abandoned. I suppose I can't know without looking around a bit more. My voice simply disappeared into the void. No response. As I pushed forward through the freezing air, for a split second, I spotted a shimmer of light. Squinting my eyes, I was able to make out a large window. Okay, so this is the one room. The chapel. Unlike the others, it wasn't shuttered. What do we have here? Drapes? I see a little light beyond. Chances were slim, I imagine, but there was even a slight possibility of getting some light in here. It was worth a shot. So I pulled open the drapes. Yeah. The next moment, a faint but colorful light shone down on me. Stained glass window. Beyond the glass, I could hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. It had finally started, it seemed. Different colors of light blended into a milky white, dim but wondrous. It's so pretty. It looks like an angel. Why would somebody cover this up? It's beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be. Please do not touch the drapes. Or the windows. Suddenly I hear a voice and I could sense someone else in the room. The man's voice was emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long he came into view, illuminated by dull orange candlelight. It's Michael. I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but I did announce myself. Man stood there practically blending with the darkness. Had he been there the whole time? He was staring straight at me. His gaze wavered slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. Then again, I could hardly make out any detail at all under the light of a single candle. Is this, your mansion? It is. Thank goodness. I was afraid it was deserted. I suspect you would have preferred it if the house were abandoned. Oh, not at all. I would be scared to death staying in this dark mansion all by myself. I'm sorry. No ill will intended. But I do think it could do with some light. That way you could see where you were walking. And I'm sure this room would look splendid, illuminated. Not necessary. I make do perfectly well as things are. How can you see when it's so dark? I have an abundance of candles and oil for lamps. I am not in want of means of creating light. It is not your place to criticize my lifestyle. If you need light, then you are free to leave. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town. Yo. Yesterday was interesting. Yesterday was interesting. Yeah. And it was really slow. It was like, hey, why is the text in the things all weird? A little bit later, why is it fucking red? And then I don't know where we're fucking going anymore. Like, after that, it just, like, I couldn't get it out of my fucking head. I'm like, this is gonna drive me fucking mad if I don't... Like, I almost kept going last night. I almost did. But I didn't know how much more left I had, and I have quite a bit left, I think. Because holy shit. Like, seeing the text in this get fucked with blew my goddamn mind. That was such a cool moment. Cannot go back there. Please don't chase me out. I see. And do you ask this of me aware of how people refer to this mansion? They say that a witch lives here. Not merely a witch, a cursed witch. If you remain here, you too shall likely suffer your own destruction. Your word for my well-being. Witch or not, my mind is made up. I was sent to this cursed witch's mansion to atone for my transgressions back in the city. It didn't matter what lived here, I had no choice. Oh god, that's what I was afraid of. And it's like, oh yeah, everything before this doesn't matter. Everything after this, oh boy, you are in for some shit. That was the impression I was getting. Which will strike you first, I wonder, regret or the curse? You seem to be doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real, very much so. It is not a legend nor a fairy tale. Boy, it sure isn't! The witch's name is Morgana. Is me. You're lying, motherfucker. I know you're lying, motherfucker. Yes. Oh! It's different. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Drink a whole bottle of whiskey. Ah, cool. So I need to get whiskey this week. Good to know. Very good to know. Maybe I'll go to tequila. We'll make it special. Yes. That was our first encounter. It was nothing flowery or dramatic. It was rather laced with suspicion and wariness. We knew nothing about one another, and I had no interest in changing that. Oh, you didn't give a shit! But nonetheless, that was where it all began. Where my history with her commenced. The woman had jade eyes. Open wide, they glimmered like jewels in the light shining through the stained glass window. Seemed to be at a loss for words. Wait, what? Wait. Hang on. But that... The rumors said a witch lived in this house, and I was the only one who filled that criteria. Thus, said rumors could be interpreted to be talking about me. After staring at me dumbfounded for a few moments, the woman suddenly burst into laughter. Oh, wow. Ha. Here I was thinking you were kinda scary, but it turns out you're actually quite funny. What? I never would have guessed you were someone to tell such a ridiculous joke with a straight face. I wasn't. You don't look at all like a witch. I mean, it's dark and I can't really see, but you seem to me like a rather handsome man. The word witch has broader meaning than just a woman who practices magic. Any unholy person with cursed powers, man or woman, can be considered a witch. I think I get what you're trying to say, but my mental image of a witch is definitely more a woman. So you're not a witch. Technically, the legally correct term is warlock. To tell you the truth, I didn't know who might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mass. Oh. I was sent here from your old home. Oh. Oh. I was an Abigail for your mother, but, well, I might have made a little goof. I froze the moment the word left her mouth. Home. It rolled around in my skull, shaping up terrible memories that almost brought me to my knees. Oh, this is gonna go terribly. Why, after all these years, were they reaching out to me now? And not even sending someone to bring me back, just sending someone. To what end? For what purpose had they shipped an Abigail out to this remote mansion? What was my mother thinking? Wait! So is he not cursed? Wait a second. Because he said his mother died. Where the fuck are we going? God damn it. I need to get a stirring straw from a decaf. Was this another one of her attempts to break my curse? What do you mean you made a little goof? My voice came out weak. I did my best not to let it show on my face. It was a teeny tiny mistake. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. What did Mother say about me? Well, it was actually your father who told me to come here. I never really spoke to your mother much. Father sent you. That made even less sense. Why would he have... Did Father even know I was here? No, if he had known, I would have been... Who was this woman? And what was her goal in asking to stay here? Well, there you have it. I'll be here for a while. If you need me for anything, do not hesitate to ask. I'm confident I can handle most everyday tasks. Now, where should I begin? Oh, I know. Are you hungry? Food? I can't imagine you eat much being as skinny as you are. Damn. I turned my back on her without responding. No matter what her goal, she had been sent from that house. There was no way anything good could come of that, and there was no way I could live with someone who had ties to them. I prayed she would take the hint, give up, and leave. Master? And so I kept ignoring her. I ignored. I don't think he ignored very well. I ignored her. Alright, that's really funny. No, I thought it was our character. Like, I thought it was gonna be, well... I knew something was off when I saw the thing in the mirror. Because we never saw who it was. And when the guy in the painting was saying, hey, don't fucking listen to the story, there's something wrong here. That sort of, when they called her Gazelle in that, I was like, hey, something's not right here. I'm doing the math and shit ain't adding up. Like, I knew something was off, but I didn't think it was going to be her. I thought she was either going to be Morgana or, like, the curse incarnate. Like, holy shit. Okay. Master, what would you like for supper? Nothing. But failed, spinning back and shouting. Her eyes went wide and then she gave a sheepish giggle. I glared at her as she fidgeted uncomfortably. Eating's one of the most basic human needs, so if you're hungry, you should really eat. I said I didn't want... Ah. What was that sound? Must you ask? Is it Michelle? I keep saying Michael. I keep forgetting there's no A. It's Michelle. Alright, I'm retarded. Fair enough. Again, failed it. Well, I saw that and they were talking about the Archangel, so okay. Illiterate idiot even with decaf. Must you ask? That's not a very polite thing to ask a lady, you know? No, that's fair. That's completely fair. I wondered if it was just like a different version of like that. Like in a different language. But there was no like A or accent or anything, so that was bugging me. Gotcha. Huh? You know, it was a long trip, and all I had to eat on the road was dried fruit. I felt like I was some kind of animal. So, what I'm trying to say is that I'm hungry. That wasn't the sound of her stomach growling, was it? I thought lightning had struck in the distance. Damn. And would like some supper. The kitchen is at the far end of the hall on the first floor. There's food in the cellar. Help yourself to any of it. Thank you so much. I honestly feel like I haven't eaten in days and I'm about to die of starvation. Oh, and I shouldn't need any help finding it. I plan on exploring the house anyway. It's rather exciting being in a new place. Damn it. That didn't go as planned. Oh well. She can do as she pleases. I'll have nothing to do with it. Oh, are you sure you don't? No. She's just being a little shit. What is it now? My name is Giselle. It's a pleasure to meet you. And your name is? Oh, Master Yu. I actually left the room that time, making my way back to my chambers. At some point, I would seriously have to chase her out. I'm starting to like this guy now. Especially considering she had come from that house. But regardless, I was not terribly fond of her. Cool. Oh, so they just take turns with the, with their... point of view. Okay, that's cool. I didn't really understand Michelle, but that was probably because we were still essentially strangers. I've been sent to the mansion as reparation for my mistakes. I wasn't sure who I might find there, but I was tentatively convinced he wasn't a terrible person. He didn't do anything to me, except stay away. Michelle spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had told me never enter under any circumstances. So we rarely encountered one another in the halls. For that reason, I made an effort to be kind and cheerful on the sporadic occasions we did cross paths. I figured if I kept that up long enough, he would eventually warm up to me. I don't think he did. Call me crazy. And his new housemates, being able to enjoy our time together was obviously preferable to the alternative. If I did manage to break the ice, I hope we would be able to do some talking. About the mansion, about him, about me. I just had to keep working at it. Michelle didn't need me to take care of him. He handled his own day-to-day needs and activities by himself, and in fact didn't ask me for anything. An aristocrat who had no use for his servant. I hadn't met anyone like him before. Alright then. That meant about all I could do was clean. I wasn't sure how his room looked, but the rest of the house was, quite frankly, an absolute disaster. Yeah. The dust was so heavy it was obviously hadn't been touched in years. Let's get started. I am not giving enthusiasm to cleaning. I kiss my ass. It couldn't be healthy to live in these conditions, so I set out to clean each room in the house one by one. That said, it wasn't going to be an easy task. Not because I was bad at cleaning, in fact I consider myself quite good at it, but because it was near impossible to find all the dust and grime that needed cleaning under the flickering light of a candle. Yeah, I can't understand how anyone sane can live in this dark. What's wrong with him? Maybe he's actually a vampire. I mean, the way it's going, nothing surprises me now. Oh god, wouldn't that be something? I can see it now, him sneaking out every night to suck the blood of pretty girls. Priceless. That means I'm in trouble. Look at Miss one-woman comedy show here. Yep. If I am able to get him to warm up to me, though, maybe that'll give me a little more room to make some changes. Like opening some windows. No light and no fresh air. No thank you. Anyway, set the candlestick down, pulled over a chair to stand on, and started wiping down the shelf. The chair's legs seemed to be uneven as it wobbled slightly beneath me. So many books. I wonder, do they all belong to him? A new parchment was expensive, so it was rather astonishing seeing this many stacks of it in one place. There were even some books with bulky, extravagantly decorated covers. He does come from an esteemed family. I spent enough time at his family's home. There was a constant bustle of servants and guests, the exact opposite of what this mansion was like. Why had he left his home? What had he done to be sent all the way out here to this remote mansion with a less than savory reputation? Need to be careful not to overstep my bounds. I am a servant now. A servant. But once the thought had crossed my mind, I couldn't get it out. I'd always had a bad tendency to chase my curiosities as soon as they struck, pushing to scratch the itch no matter how much my actions annoyed others. I couldn't do that here, though. I was simply a servant, and if I got on Michael's bad side, I risked getting thrown out. I wonder what kind of books he's got here. So I attempted to distract myself. I grabbed one of the books and attempted to pull it out. What? But the strings binding the parchment must have gotten tangled at the back. Whoa. Because the books on either side tilted back with it. Well, that ain't good. And then the entire row came crashing down on top of me. Ow. Are we not going to address the passage here? Are we really not going to address the clearly hidden passage? Like, come on. Oh, for cripe's sake. I'd fallen off the chair, and a downpour of books was still coming down on me. A mountain of dust with it. Cough, cough, seriously. What are you doing? Suddenly, Michelle was there looking down on me from a little ways away. There was, as usual, not much I could read from his expression, but I could hear a vague trace of exasperation in his voice. I was doing some cleaning and impressive work. I'm usually better than this. It's just so dark, mistakes should be expected. I really think we should open up some windows. Get some light, some air flowing through here. I never asked you to clean anything. You did this entirely yourself. But there's so much dust. It can't be good for you. I am perfectly healthy. I don't see the problem. Had he even seen himself? No way someone that skinny was perfectly healthy. You look like you have something to say. You can make out my face in this darkness? You know. I wanted to be useful, and cleaning is about all I can do here, so, you know. I was sensing something else, but alright. He let out a sigh, stepped over towards a pile of books, and then reached his hand down for me. Suddenly felt a pang of embarrassment about the fact I was still splayed out on the floor. But I raised my hand up to take his, only for him to pick up a book instead. Yeah. You could at least help me up. You have legs. You're an asshole, man. he said, casually returning the book to the top shelf. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was a terrible person. Nah, you gotta get that independence. We don't discriminate. So, Master, all these books yours? Giselle asked, not a trace of remorse visible on her face, despite having made a mess of the room she's supposedly trying to clean. I gave a curt nod. Really, that's impressive. Must have been hard work getting them all in here, huh? There's gotta be 100 books here. You could fill a whole carriage, at least. It's like you've got your own personal library. She had been pouting only a few moments earlier, but her smile was back in short order. Her jade eyes were like little balls of curiosity, glittering in the faint candlelight. I was not particularly fond of overly expressive, rather overly curious women. Did they not care that they trampled uninvited into other people's personal spaces? There's a joke there I want to make. Or were they not even aware that their actions were invasive? Again, not saying anything. I averted my gaze from hers. I receive one roughly every month. I see. Wait. She turned back towards the shelves. I presume she understood the implication of what I had just said. Of the fact that there were nearly 100 tomes here and I received only one a month. Huh? Giselle fell silent. I couldn't blame her if she thought my circumstances or my family or my life bizarre. But I didn't care what she thought of me. In fact, it was to my advantage for her to be uncomfortable. I just need her to stay quiet and keep her nose out of my business. There's more than I thought. I said not to her, but to myself. I had no reason to count the passage of time anymore. Only the book served as a record of how long I had been here. 121. What? There are 121 books. 10 years in 1 month. Damn. You were counting. I thought she had just sheepishly gone quiet. What an inscrutable woman. You've been here in the mansion for that long? All by yourself? The truth was, there had been times where I wasn't alone, but Giselle had no need to know that. You already know the answer. Look of pity for him in Giselle's eyes. Enough. I never asked for his sympathy. I am here by choice. You mean you weren't banished here? No restraint, this woman. No. I came here of my own volition. I didn't care enough to elaborate, though. Picking another book up off the floor, I brushed the dust off its cover. It was a gaudily decorated tome. That's a very fancy book, isn't it? But apparently Giselle wasn't able to take a hint. Of course not. What's it about? I let out a sigh and opened to no page in particular, sticking the book out towards her. She was a servant and a woman. There was no way she could read. Damn. Let's see here. This land is hard to be suitable for cultivation. It can only produce oversour grapes. I would probably get more out of it if I tore down the fields and made it into a market. Sounds like a lord's diary. You can read? I was caught slightly off guard. It was rare for a noble woman to be able to read and write, let alone a servant. Was she truly what she claimed to be? I had someone to teach to me. So, is this book any interesting? It's dull, worthless tripe. I can't imagine why anyone thought it was worth binding. Tough crowd. But it's not very often you get to see a lord's diary. I am rather curious what kind of things he griped about. Lord or king, what values there in another's grumbling? Yeah, I mean, fair point. There was no knowledge contained within that book. Just emotions, unsightly scribbles, and there was nothing more exhausting in this world than being emotional. If you want to read it, be my guest. It wasn't my intention, but alright. Once I've got the whole mansion cleared, I'll read it. I told you, you don't have to clean. Oh, I've got an idea. If you're interested, maybe we could read together. Did you hear a word I just said? It's dull, worthless tripe. Still, you might see it differently if you read it with someone else. And I'm sure there are some books here you would enjoy. You're wasting your time. The suspicion and restraint budding between us was trite and insignificant at that point. She was still smiling after all. If I'd been able to maintain that distance, then perhaps I wouldn't have ended up hurting her. Oh, that ain't good. Hang on, nothing's changed, right? No, because this is the actual. It's not the lie. It had been a little under 2 weeks since I had moved in with my Michelle. I'm gonna keep saying that, and it's gonna annoy me now. Though we lived in the same house, we rarely saw each other. On unlucky days, I wouldn't see him at all. I wasn't sure if he ate in his room or our schedules were simply misaligned, but we never had any meals together. Perhaps he was deliberately avoiding me. Yeah, maybe. That has to be it. I don't, and I don't want to. Like, no, if there's a twist that's gonna break my fucking kneecaps, I don't want to see it coming. I have no clue where we're going, and I'm fine with that. It's sort of given me, like, the same feeling of, Amori before the last day when you go to Black Space. Because after getting through Humphrey and getting the letters, I was like, oh, okay, where are we going? Somewhere ridiculous. Oh, God. But yeah, it's that moment where you dive into the hole in Basil's house and you see Black Space, and I was just like, where the fuck are we going? I don't know where we're going, but I'm fucking here for it. I fucking love the first moment. Oh, God, don't tell me that. God damn it. Oh, I'll never be free. Oh, if that's the case, should I set up the trauma demon cam? Oh, crap. Or wait, shit, I can't use the Christmas hat anymore, but... Oh, fuck. That would be funny, but terrible. That has to be it. Scarred for life. Oh, fuck me up, fam. I know servant and master don't usually at the same table, but even so, you could be a little less obvious about it. Oh, I'm hoping. Am I really that much of a nuisance? I'm not doing anything inappropriate, am I? I'm being pleasant and sociable, aren't I? I haven't given him any reason to not like me, I think. I hope. You've never been very enthusiastic about my staying here, but I hadn't been given a choice. I'd been sent here by his family. Besides... No, out with the negative thoughts. Gotta stay positive. Yeah, he hasn't tried to chase me out yet. I just haven't broken the ice. I had to stay positive, optimistic, happy thoughts, and be myself. As long as I kept working at it with enough time, Michelle would surely come around and not be so distant. I've got a goal, so let's get to work. First I make supper, then I ask him to have it with me. Gotta be proactive when it comes to the reclusive types. Alright, here goes. Cool. Or here would go, but we're almost out of supplies. Well, so much for that. The cellar was where the non-perishable food was stored. Dried food, smoked meats, cheeses, and a small scattering of root vegetables. Looking at this makes me feel like a soldier holding down a castle's fortifications. Had Michelle really gone 10 years on nothing but this, I would have raised the white flag long ago. He said he hadn't left the mansion all in those 10 years. I assume he at least goes out to get supplies, right? Running out of food is kind of a life or death matter. I can't believe he hasn't set foot outside even once in... What are you babbling on about? Oh no, he overheard me. Shit! I assumed you were talking to someone. Does anyone else live here? I haven't seen anyone. It is just the two of us. Alive, anyway. You mean there are ghosts? Something of the sort. Ha, there you go with the jokes. I'm not a child, you're not gonna trick me like that. There are adults who believe in such things. I suppose, but I don't really believe in ghosts or demons or curses or any of that. The church just tries to convince people they're real so they can squeeze more money out of them. Oh, more than the church. Am I going to have to turn you over to the church, you blasphemer? That's really funny. I really like his fucking dialogue. That's the kind of just straight black humor. No. I pray every day, honest. I don't particularly care either way. I'm returning to my chambers. What? Already? You didn't, come down here for food? I only came down here because I heard voices. Moment. Please just wait a second. What? Our stores are almost empty. What do you normally do when you need more food? I'll happily accompany you a trip to the market. Already? That was fast. There are two of us. I really don't eat that much, do I? In the dim light, it was difficult to make out Michelle's expression, but I thought I could see a tinge of annoyance on his face. I mean, it's only a tinge now. Hold your ground, Giselle. You said you wanted to get closer to him. Is that a parsnip? Michelle was holding a tangled ball of roots. The reason I asked was because the parsnip looked like it was on the verge of total decomposition. See, there's still food. Jesus. He then handed it to me. Wait. You want me to eat that? It's clearly seen better days. You're gonna get sick. Or are you telling me you can survive on rotten vegetables? Of course I won't eat it. I just figured you were hardy enough to survive. You're a fucking asshole! What do you think I am? No, he is definitely a jerk. I love him just being an ass in the face of the really pretty sad music. Or that the resulting diarrhea might reduce your appetite. Oh my god. You're kidding, right? You can't be serious. Anyway, we should bury that outside. Then we can go purchase fresh supplies. I told you I don't go outside. Then how do you... Huh? A visitor? Who could it be? Perfect timing. You're a servant, make yourself useful and go retrieve the package. If it's not a delivery but a wanderer, chase them off. What? Package? Hold on a second. What are you talking about? He's gone. What kind of delivery is he expecting? Michelle stood there, unmoving, veiled in shadow. He glanced over at me and threw his gaze to the front door. Huh? At his command, I raised the bar, pulling open the door. Right! After nearly 2 weeks inside, the light from the setting sun almost blinded me. The world went white, my head pounding. After a few moments of intense blinking, my eyes accumulated themselves to the evening sunlight. There was no one outside, only a crate easily large enough to fit a child. Is this the package? Nasser? I turned back to face Michel, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. Though it seemed more like he was avoiding looking at the light than at me. He's starting to seem more and more like a vampire. Not that I believe in vampires, of course. Regardless, I pray there's nothing bad in here. That's heavy. Could I get some help? What were you thinking asking that? Gee, thanks. I am a servant, admittedly, but this is a lot to ask of just one girl. A little help would sure be nice. Once it's inside, close and bar the door. He said dispassionately, his head still turned toward the darkness. As you wish. Once the door shut, I found myself back into a world of darkness. It hadn't even been 2 weeks, but the lack of light was beginning to become my normal. The outside world growing farther and farther away. Being holed up in here is definitely not good for me. I should go for a walk sometime. Maybe plant some flowers or vegetables. Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe I can grow that old tangle of roots into some fresh parsnip. What else do we have to plant? Be great if there were some flower seeds. What are you doing? Open the box, now. As you wish, twat. Oh, there's food inside? In the box was a burlap sack filled with berries, root vegetables, and smoked meats, as well as an assortment of bread, fruits, and wine. Aside from the fruit and bread, everything else was the same as what Michelle kept in the cellar. Ah. And buried beneath the burlap sack was a single book. 1 book a month. He really hasn't gone outside in 10 years. It appears you have begun to grasp the situation. Yeah. But why? This was delivered by someone from your house, wasn't it? A servant, I assume? Why would they leave without saying anything? No one wants to talk to a cursed man. In the past, they would occasionally check in on me, but that hasn't happened recently. They think you're cursed. Right, you don't believe in curses. Then come up with your own explanation. An excuse for them to want to stay away from me. That, for example, I killed someone, or maybe that I'm insane. I mean, why stop at just one? I couldn't... Regardless, I am not normal. Yeah. Bring the food down to the cellar. The book to the library. You are, of course, free to refuse and run back off into the woods. I'll do it. Alright. Then you take care of that. Hey. What is it? I just noticed there's something else in here. Huh? It's wrapped in cloth. What could it be? Ooh, a painting. For you to hang up somewhere in the house, I presume. It's so dark I can't see it very well, but I'm sure it's... Don't touch that. What? Michel, who kept his distance from me until that point, suddenly marched over and ripped the painting from my grasp. His face was twisted into a look I had never seen him make before. Was it indignation, disgust, hatred, panic? I couldn't tell, but there was more than enough negative pressure to cause me to flinch back. Is that painting perhaps, something important? A landscape painting. He muttered under his breath, the tension melting away from his face. I was left looking at his unusual blank, impenetrable expression, but his eyes were fixated on the picture, staring at it unblinkingly. Why a landscape painting? Some kind of passive-aggressive message? It's not of anywhere nearby. Did they travel somewhere? Well, it's not of that girl, so that's an improvement. Oh, you're still here? Still here? Of course I'm still here. Who do you think asked to take care of the package? Who do you think you asked to take care of that package? What's with you? Just running over and snatching the painting from me? You scared me. You could maybe explain yourself. What's so special about the painting? I don't believe that's any of your business. None of my... Of course it is. You ripped it out of my hands like I was some kind of thief. I have a right to know and what that was about. And maybe an apology while you're at it. You told me to open the box, so I did. Then all of a sudden you're angry. We are not equals. Do not mistake yourself for my friend. You have a right to know. You have no such thing. You don't have to be rude. I'll say it again. Leave if you don't like it here. I never asked for you to be here. That was your wish. My wish? Are you out of your mind? I never asked for this. I never wished for it. Who in their right mind would want to be sent to some house in the middle of nowhere? Who would ever want to go through that? No, calm down, Giselle. You can't get angry. You're right. That is what I wanted. But I never wanted to make you mad for us to argue like this. I just wanted to get to know you better, get closer to you. I mean, it would make things smoother for the both of us. It would make living together more enjoyable for us. Listen carefully. This is very important for you to understand. Do not try to involve yourself with me. Do not go probing around for information. And if you can't do that, leave. I completely shut out. The glare he was giving me and the standoffish aura he was emanating were reflected in his tone of voice. Why did he push me away like he did that? Or why did he try to push me away like that? Seemed Giselle really didn't know much about me. Despite being sent here from my house, she was unaware of the monthly deliveries, as well as the reason why I lived in the mansion all by myself. Why, though, would they not have told her anything? Why had she been sent here left completely in the dark? Giselle looked up at me, fear and bewilderment in her eyes, though I thought I could see a glint of suspicion beneath it all. Like her true feelings were bubbling to the surface. Everyone had darkness in them they kept hidden. No one was exactly who they appeared to be. She was undoubtedly thinking, I'm not here because I want to be. I knew from the moment I first saw her that her bubbly sweet effect was all a facade. Had she thought I was dense enough to not realize? She was no different than anyone else. What I didn't understand, though, was why she refused to leave me no matter how hard I pushed. What was she hiding beneath the innocent-looking face? What was she thinking? What did she carry on her shoulders? Everyone is hiding something, deceiving those around them. I had to figure out what she really was. May I ask you something? Yeah? On the day you arrived, you said you made a teeny tiny mistake while working at my family's house. Tell me about that. What did you do at the Bollinger estate? In that moment, brief as it was, her disposition wavered. Nothing's changed, right? No. Fear, terror, no, perhaps anger. I couldn't tell. Nevertheless, it was abundantly clear that was a subject she had no interest in me breaching. And so she had borne her fangs. The smile she adorned was now visibly forced. It's nothing you need to concern yourself with. I promise it was an insignificant little thing. Hey, I don't think it was. She couldn't say. Why couldn't she tell me? What had she done there? What did this woman know about that house? What did she know about me? What was concealed beneath that smile of hers? I'm the master of this house and you are a servant. And still you refuse to tell me. Like I said, it's nothing. There's no reason to bother you with a mere servant's personal blunders. What are you hiding? I am not hiding anything. But you should be able to tell me exactly what you did at the Bollinger estate. Like I said, tell me. Tell me. You won't tell me a thing about yourself, and yet you demand others tell you about themselves. Here you are practically threatening me, demanding I tell you something I don't want to talk about. Yet you still haven't told me anything about the painting. So I was right. You do have something to hide. How many times must I repeat myself? We are not equals. I don't care if it's insignificant or something you don't want to talk about. I'm ordering you to tell me. Trifling blunder would not get someone sent to live with a cursed man in a house spoken of so unfavorably. Whatever she had done at the Bollinger estate, that had something to do with why she was here. If she truly hadn't done anything, then she had something to gain from this place, or possibly from me. And if that was the case, I had to get her to talk. And make me. Giselle's eyes were open wide. I recognized the look she was giving me. I knew very well what that gaze meant. You're an abomination. It was the same as them. Fear, contempt, revulsion, repulsion. The way she acted, the way she spoke, it was exactly the same. You're no different. I made her uncomfortable. I made her afraid. She thought I was unpleasant. She thought I was despicable. She thought I was an abomination. Oh, cool. So how bad is this gonna get? In a frenzy, I grabbed her by the shoulders, clamping down far more powerfully than I'd meant to. Ow, stop. Face contorted in pain morphed into someone else's. Who was I directing my anger at? Where was this rage being aimed? Who are you calling an abomination? What? Tell me who? Black fervor bubbling up within me knew no end. The girl, she ridiculed me. She denied my identity with her glare. I couldn't escape from that phantom, that reality. What are... I never called you a... No, get away from me. Get your hands off me. Giselle's scream echoed in the entrance hall, rattling my eardrums. Frankly, smacked my arms aside, and then I came back to my senses. She was standing a little ways away, breathing heavily, arms wrapped tight around her body, glowering at me, showing her opposition to my touching her. Enlightening. No. You just, you startled me, that's all. Some servant you are, telling your master not to touch you. Okay, maybe roll it back, fam. Oh right, I have, I'm, allergic to people. It's a very unique condition, I hear. I mean, can you believe that? See, you know how some people get all red and itchy when they touch a dog or cat? Is that except for people, so? So, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I beg your forgiveness. Why don't you speak your mind? What? This is what's going through your mind right now. I have nothing to apologize for. No, that's not... I can somewhat sympathize with your plight. Being made to apologize even though you're hurting. Raise my hand against you first, after all. Then you forgive me. Sympathy does not equate to forgiveness. Now, you take care of the package. I'm heading back to my chambers. What is it? You're not gonna make me leave after what I just did? No, I am not. For it would seem I can make you leave on your own whenever I so please. Besides, I had yet learned what she had done. Or I had yet to learn. It would be exceedingly difficult to get the story from her own mouth, which left me with one option. To write a letter to my mother. As much as the very thought revolted me. Okay. Several days had passed since the package arrived. The end of my third week living in the mansion was drawing near. Michelle wasn't getting any friendlier either. Continued to either snub or bluntly dismiss me whenever we crossed paths. I didn't understand why he acted that way around me. But there was little point in asking when he seemed to think there was little point in talking to me at all. Although at first I had been sure there was some way to get to him to warm up to me. The more time I spent in the mansion, the more my willpower began to feel like it was at its breaking point. I could tell myself to stay positive until I was blue in the face, but it would only work for so long. The one pretty place in the whole house. I'm glad he hasn't covered it back up. Blue moonlight shone quietly through the stained glass window, vainly illuminating some of the room. I hadn't noticed until now, but the room with the stained glass window appeared to be modeled after a chapel. Rows of pews faced the window, below which sat what used to be a pulpit. There was very little left of it, though, and an awkward length of silver was mounted to the pulpit's front face. What was, I assumed, formerly a cross. Upon further reflection, rather than facing the window, the pew seemed to be pointed at the pulpit, or perhaps the cross hanging from it. I wasn't sure why there would be a chapel in a mansion, but I had no one to ask about it. For a house this size, a statue of Christ or the Virgin Mary seemed more appropriate. It's a very well-made chapel, at any rate. I doubted Michel had it built for himself. There would be no reason for him to cover the window if that were the case. Nor had I seen him come to pray. He doesn't seem like one to believe in God. I'm not even sure if God really existed, then surely the world would be a much more pleasant, peaceful place. No unfair disparities in money or power, no senseless misfortune. I certainly wouldn't have found myself here either. But God was evidently quite fond of giving mankind trials, so he would probably tell me with a straight face this was one too. Or perhaps we simply had a false impression of him. And he didn't actually give us anything. Merely sat back and watched from somewhere far, far away. It wasn't his job to bring peace to the world or ensure our laws were fair. That was all mankind's responsibility. What is God? What are angels? I have no idea. Maybe the Bible has answers. Why should I pray to someone so far away? How do I know my prayer is even getting there? But still, it's not like I have any other options. Right. Don't you worry. It'll all work out, promise. I already know where I'm going to work. It's a really prominent noble house, way out of reach of some small-time merchants like us. You never know, this could be my big break. Oh, I'm just kidding. Don't look so worried. I'll be just fine, honestly. I'll make enough money for us to get back on our feet. Oh, for goodness sake, I can handle it. Leave everything to me. You just wait, I'll make our family into something you can be proud of. I'll be fine. Yeah, say bye to Mom for me. I probably won't be home for a while. What? You're afraid I'm gonna make some careless mistake? I'm not that airheaded. I can be a refined and elegant young lady. Those nobles won't even know what to believe anymore. If you don't believe me, how about I give you a little taste? Ahem. How are you doing this fine morning, master? Your morning beverage is ready, prepared with the utmost of care. See, how about that? Not bad, huh? What? You really think it sounded forced? I was the daughter of a merchant who ran a shop on the capital's main street. My father had passed away in a plague, so it was just me, my mother, and my older sister. It would be a lie to say business was doing well. We struggled to squeak by day to day after taxes, but we couldn't just abandon the shop and leave the capital either. So we tried to make the best of what we were able to take in between the three of us. Then my sister fell in love with a moderately well-off aristocrat. Both my mom and I were supportive of her in her desire to marry. But the union almost fell apart because she was not suitable for him. Merchants were hardly the lowest class. What we lacked instead was wealth. We needed another source of money beyond what the shop took in. If only we had money, my sister could get married. If only we had money, my mom wouldn't have to work so hard. If only we had money. It was then that someone from the distinguished Bollinger estate approached me. He said they were in need of Abigails and would love to have me. He said if I agreed to work with them, the Bollinger estate would take care of my family. Generally speaking, noble houses took Abigails from other lower-ranked noble houses. It was unthinkable for someone of my status to receive such an offer. So I took it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance and accepted the offer. Yeah, that was a great idea. I just pray that nothing bad happens to my sister. Cool. Hey, we're not gonna see her, are we? And my mom is getting enough money to live comfortably. That's all I can do. Their nobility. They have plenty of money, enough to spare some. The light shined through the stained glass window began to grow murky, fading into blackness. It felt like a message from on high that no, my prayers would not be answered. Bluish-white illumination shining down upon me disappeared as clouds blocked the moon. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a solid woman like me? Ah, for heaven's sake. I never asked to end up like this. Their nobility. They have plenty of money, enough to spare some. Oh, come on. Okay, this is what I just said. Oh, for heaven's sake. Never asked to end up like this. Syl was sitting at one of the pews in the room with the stained glass window. Just looking at her, you might have thought she was offering a prayer. But the words coming from her mouth were anything but prayerful. They were filled with resentment. They have plenty of money, sullied woman. And then, I never asked to end up like this. So this is what's beneath that facade. Most likely money's what she's after. All I need to do now is confirm my suspicions with them. Just what awful secrets will I uncover? Oh boy, it'll be great. I gave Giselle, sitting in the pew with her head drooped, a cursory glance before leaving the chapel. I had somewhere else to be. Bitterly cold outside air felt like a dozen of needles flowing into my lungs. It had been so long since I had stepped beyond the mansion's walls. Thick mist canopied the night sky, blocking out the moonlight. Naturally, the heavens did not rejoice at my leaving the house. It had been 10 years since I had seen the mansion from the outside, and it hadn't changed one bit. A gloomy scar upon the earth shrouded in darkness. Hardly the kind of place someone would enthusiastically approach. Nevertheless, it was better than that house. Why is it better than that? What the fuck? Okay. Yes. Who is it? Michelle. What? Michelle Bollinger. Just one moment. I'll be right there. Come in. It's a humble abode, but make yourself at home. Wow, I must say this is rather unexpected. Just one word and I would have been up there in a heartbeat. And how was I supposed to do that? I am regrettably fresh out of carrier pigeons. Right, yes. My apologies. This man living in a small cottage not far from the mansion had been hired by the Bollinger family. His job? To watch over me. That said, we never actually interacted. He was tasked with keeping track of whether I was still alive and whether I remained in the mansion. The monthly package from my family was delivered to him, which he then passed on to me. It was insipidly convoluted, but it was indicative of how much they wanted to avoid anyone learning about me. Well then, what can I do for you? The manservant was visibly rattled. Afraid too. But not because of the difference in our social ranks. I had a pretty good idea of what he had been told about me. He was afraid of me. Or more specifically, my curse. People fear that which they cannot comprehend. Not just children, adults as well. They fear demons, witches, and curses. Anything impure or not of this world. But I had long since gotten used to being viewed as such. It didn't sadden me, it didn't disappoint me, it didn't pain me. Some things were too foolish to concern yourself over. Though it certainly doesn't make me feel good either. I was, on some level, annoyed. That woman's appearance at the mansion had created ripples in my once tranquil life. So before I got out into the real reason for my visit, I decided to take out a bit of my frustration. Raise your head, there's no need to be afraid. I don't know what you've been told, but I promise I don't bite. How rude of me. You're right, my sincerest apologies. He doesn't bite, but he's probably gonna knock your fucking jaw out. Your job is to keep watch over me. If the mere sight of me has you trembling, what will you do if I try to run? I would have little trouble escaping. That would be quite unfortunate. What would I ever tell your mother? I'm not sure that would end well at all. You could lose everything you've been paid so far. In fact, you might be lucky to get out with your life. Surely your mother would not. You are aware of who you're dealing with, right? Michelle, the cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family, who made a pact with the devil. I don't need a blade to take your life. You wouldn't even make it back to report anything. Mercy, Lord Michelle. Please do not leave the mansion. Please spare me. Only joking. I don't have the power to kill you by way of curse. Man fell silent, but the look on his face said, You are cursed though, aren't you? Once someone's got an idea planted in their head, it's nigh impossible to get rid of it. I am so cursed that anyone can see it, that I need to be locked away in a dark mansion. I am here because I had a question for you, not to warn you that I plan to run away. Question? From me. Yes. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a black-haired woman came to the mansion. Tell me what you know about her. I was told there would be an Abigail coming, but that's all. I don't know anything else about her. I swear that's all I know. I haven't been told anything else. I believe you. I never thought they would tell you anything. Right. He had been hired to observe me, but that's all he was, a hired hand. He wouldn't be privy to the Bollinger family internal affairs. Take this. Letter? I need you to deliver it to my mother. Could have just left it in a box from this morning's package and I would have collected it when I dropped off the next one. I am in urgent need of information. Will you do this for me? Yes. Why, yes, absolutely. I'll fetch a delivery boy tomorrow morning. Much appreciated. Good night. You too. Do take care. Lord Michael? Or Michelle? Damn it. I'm gonna keep saying that. Yes. Is it true that you don't have... Would you like me to sew your mouth shut so you can never open it again? Not at all. My sincerest apologies, Lord Michelle. That was horribly disrespectful. Good night. Cursed I most certainly am. My mother's response arrived just 10 days later. The delivery boy must have pushed his horse quite hard. It was almost exactly a month after Giselle had moved in. Ah, cool. Hey, why is the music going away? And shortly thereafter, on a bone-chilling night, hey, I think I know why the music went away. Everything came crashing down. The rift between us grew deeper, and the wall between us impossibly high when I laid bare the scars in her chest and mercilessly plunged my knife into them. Oh, that ain't good. Oh, that ain't good. Alright, I'm gonna go use it. So, un moment. Alright. So how bad's this gonna go? Ah, that's a trick question, I know. How do we get to this point? Ugh, hate everything. Spirits were getting darker and darker, like they were slowly sinking into a deep morass. I've been at the mansion for a month, and every day since felt twice as long as it should have. I'd been optimistic at first. I'd even had a little hope that me and Michelle could get along together, but it hadn't taken long for that hope to be shattered, and the cheer locked away inside me. We lived in the same house, but we never spoke anymore. On the few occasions we did cross paths, he just gave me a cold glare and nothing more. Scorn and suspicion in his eyes. Whenever he looked at me like that, it felt as though my throat was being constricted, like I was deep underwater and running out of air, like my very presence in the world was a crime. I never could have imagined just how agonizing constant rejection was. I started despising others, despising myself, despising the world, convinced there was no one who could set me free. Considered running away from everything, rather than live like this another day, but I would have done so long ago if that were actually an option. If they found out I had fled, that I had acted outside their wishes, my mom and sister would pay. I'd succeeded in allowing my sister to get married and my mom to live comfortably. I'd given them happiness. I couldn't take that away from them again. Not after what I had to go through to do it. No, cut that out. Getting way too depressing, Giselle. Pull yourself together. That's not who you are. Be positive. Oh my god, I can't tell. The negativity didn't only come from my interactions with Michelle either. No, there seemed to be some kind of terrible presence within the mansion that twisted people's hearts. The mansion was in fact a bit of a local legend, which I had been informed about before being sent here. People claimed it was cursed, and that an evil witch had lived in it for many, many years. Michelle joked that he was the witch, but I didn't believe him. I'm not usually one to believe in magic or curses at all, but being here so long I can't help but wonder. Anyway, things can't go on like this. If I was to remain in this house, the situation needed to improve a lot. I was going to lose my mind if things kept up as they were. I was ready to give up once, but I'm going to try closing the distance between us again. If I could get him to open up even the tiniest bit, then maybe that would make living here a little easier. I wasn't going to try and make us best friends or anything. Just repair a relationship enough that being around each other wasn't torturous. I got my work cut out for me. How do I even begin that conversation? Heck, what is that conversation even going to be about? Maybe I should hold off, do it another day. No. I made up my mind to do this, so I should get to it quickly. The longer I wait, the worse things are going to get. And eventually, there won't be anything fixing anything. There won't be any fixing anything. We need to talk. We need to be in the same room for more than 10 seconds, and we need to get to know each other. He needs to know that he's not the reason I have something to hide. Okay, let's do this. I made my way to Michelle's chambers, which he had told me to stay away from. My stride was slow and ponderous, but at the very least I did my best to keep some semblance of a smile on my face. This is one time where I'd really like to have someone to give me a little nudge. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Pardon, Master. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Master? I guess he's not there. The door wasn't locked. Hey, the music's fading out. Fuck. Door wasn't locked as the rest of the house's room was shrouded in darkness. The only light came from the candle in my hand. Are you there? I guess I missed him. It's probably best if I don't stick around for long. He's already got less than a stellar reputation of me. I don't want to imagine what'll happen if he thinks I've been snooping through his room. Yeah, I should get out of here. Spun around on my heels, taking a step towards the door, when I caught sight of an object draped in a black sheet. I knew I had to get out of there as quickly as possible, but I was intrigued by the object. Something he kept hidden in a room I was forbidden to enter. Maybe it was a clue to discovering Michelle's secrets. I reached my hand down towards the object, knowing good and well I shouldn't. Was it because I wanted to learn more about him? Was it because I wanted to tear down the veil he hid behind? Or was it the whispers of the witch? Cool. Huh? What do we have here? I pulled off the sheet, revealing a framed painting of what appeared to be a noble woman with porcelain white skin. What stood about her, though, was the woman's hair was as pale as her skin. And then... What? I noticed something else. Wide gashes ravaged the canvas, damaging her face beyond repair. What the... I imagine it had once been a painting of a beautiful woman, but there was hardly a trace of that left. The only feeling it inspired anymore was a deep chill. This damage was not accidental, it was deliberate, angry, and the contempt emanating from within the frame was stifling. Thick, suffocating blackness steeped into me. Why would anyone... Oh, cool. She was surely a most beautiful woman. Angelic even. Storm of questions assaulted me. Hey, I think it's going to be more than questions assaulting you in a minute. Who was she? Why had her face been carved up? Why had the painting been covered? What had happened? Who could have? There's only one person who could have done this. Michelle, why on earth? You saw it, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah. You saw the painting, didn't you? You entered my room without permission and you saw the painting, didn't you? Angelic, you say. There's nothing angelic about that damned woman. I scrambled to make some excuse, but nothing would come out of my mouth. All I could do was tremble. Yeah? Uh-huh. That's about right. That's about right. Yeah, why did you enter my chambers? Me. What were you looking for? Answer me. My mouth wouldn't move properly. I couldn't make my voice come out. It was like I wasn't even in my own body anymore. The wisps of air that were drawn into my lungs were expelled as hoarse gasps. Breaths were shallow and rapid. I was inhaling, but I wasn't getting any air. I was terrified. Terrified. Uh-huh. Cool. Of his eyes, of his voice, his feelings, of the knife he was holding up to me, of the terrible past I was chained to. Man's voice, man's very flesh, terrified me. What were you trying to find and what were you planning to do with it? Answer me. Another thing you refused to tell me then. No, I'm trying. Nothing's coming out of my mouth though. Everything's so bright, and I can't catch my breath. I can't breathe. That's fine though. You don't have to tell me. I have a pretty good idea. An idea? What do you mean? Money is what brought you to the Bollinger estate, and it's what brought you to me too. There are countless people who would love to see that house fall, and a noble family fears nothing more than disrepute. You were, I presume, approached by someone scheming the Bollinger's downfall. No. And as it just so happens, the Bollingers have a very unfortunate secret, one they are quite desperate to keep under wraps. Me. Someone suspected I might still be alive, so they sent you to dig up information about me. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest of the Bollinger family. Michelle made a pact with the devil, who is supposed to be dead but is very much alive. You sweet-talked your way into that house and into more information about me and my present situation. And you meant to trade that information for money. I bet whoever it was that put quite a handsome price on it, too. Maybe the one plotting to ruin the Bollinger family is you. No? No, that's not true. Then enlighten me. Please hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Then tell me, if that's not the reason you wormed your way into the Bollinger estate, and that's not what you're doing here, then tell me what is. Tell me why you came to this mansion. You want me to tell you about that? No way, that's asking way too much. Tell me. I swear I haven't done anything to wrong you. I simply wanted to make our life together a little more comfortable. To bring some warmth to this frigid relationship we have. That's the only reason I wanted to find out more about you. I must assume I'm right then, Giselle. Crap. I must tell him he's wrong. I must tell him I mean him no harm. But I can't say anything. A merchant's daughter became an Abigail at a noble house. Could you come up with a more obvious lie? Your father's the one who... Wait. How does he know that I'm from a merchant family? You look perplexed. I may be imprisoned in this house, not free to move about as I please. But I have my ways. I know everything. Everything. Then he knows about that too. Oh yes, I do know. Please. Don't. In your quest for money, don't say it. You slept... Oh, for God's sake. In that moment, Marshall plunged his knife into my heart. Ah, cool. Carved through my chest with those words, causing me to completely lose control of myself. Panic frenzy, probably screaming all the way. I knocked the man aside and ran and ran and ran. I could hear the clap of thunder in the distance. Oh, how I wished a bolt lightning would come crashing down upon me. Maybe if God burned my tainted flesh with a divine thunderbolt, it would get rid of some of the filth. But the jagged streaks of light cascading across the dark clouds did not strike me, only creating restless grumbles in the sky. Cool. Jesus Christ. Why? I knew that if I fled that mansion, I would likely be causing trouble for my mom and sister, but I was helpless to stop myself. All I could do was run from all that he threatened me with no regard for the consequences. For a long, small droplets of rain began falling, soon grew heavy enough to penetrate the forest canopy and reach the ground where I stood. Jesus. Downpour drowned out my tears and my cries, because I had rushed from the mansion without even putting on a cloak. Each cold winter droplet stung bitterly against my flesh, but the bite of the rain was like a warm embrace compared to what I'd been through before. Michelle had spoken the truth. As much as I wanted to deny it, to avert my eyes, reality was forever engraved in this body. No, I don't want to think about it. But I had no say in the matter. Get out of my head. Jesus. Oh. Crap. This is gonna be... This is gonna be bad. Come over here, Giselle. Okay. May I ask why you asked me here so late at night? I just wanted to have a little chat. Care for some wine. Closer and I'll pour you. Oh, for fuck's sake. I had this wine imported from up north. They use very hard water and like it rather tart, so it leaves quite the lasting impression on your tongue. And yet it goes down so easily, it just can't seem to stop. What do you say, have a sip? Or does your expertise as a trader allow you to evaluate a wine's quality without tasting it? I don't like this. No, but, please, Giselle, don't trample over my good graces. Very well, then. I'll have a sip, but no more. Have you ever considered growing out your hair? Having long hair made it difficult to do my job. You're not a merchant anymore, though. You deserve to look like the... Oh, fucking great. I have no doubt longer hair would certainly accentuate your natural... For fuck's sake. It's a gorgeous shade of black so deep a man could get lost in it for years. What contrasts the color of your skin fabulously. I like your eyes, your cheekbones, your nape, shoulders. Yeah. I should get going. We're not done talking yet. I would really like to move on. I would not want a lack of sleep to interfere with my ability to work tomorrow. Thank you very much for the wine. It was delicious. Uh-huh. No need to be so cold-hearted. Fuck. Moment I first laid eyes on you. Uh-huh. That's enough fooling around for one night. Hey, the sounds are getting worse. Don't be afraid. Uh-huh. Want to express my yeah. Let go of me. I only came here to work, nothing more. First time I saw you, I thought it would be a tragic waste to leave you to wither away working on some little street-side shop. Stop. Can't tell me you didn't know a merchant girl had no place in a house like this, even as a servant. It's only one reason you'd be allowed here. Uh-huh. Yeah? No, I swear it's never even crossed my mind. Same here. Yeah, cool. But you figured it all out by now, haven't you? Oh, no. Hey, how about we don't cross this line, maybe? Stop. Keep your voice down. Do not shout. If anyone were to find out about this, you'll be the one shouldering the consequences, not me. Oh, fucking... Ugh. But you're a maid and I'm the master of the house. Whose words do you think hold more weight? Don't worry, I won't do anything to hurt you. Yeah, sure. Promise your family will be exceptionally well taken care of. I don't think they will. Your mother will have the comfortable life you wanted for her, but you know what will happen if you raise a fuss and make a fool of yourself. Not only will your family not get any of our money, and not only will your sister not get to marry, you'll all spend the rest of your lives on the streets. How could you be so cruel? This is blackmail. Blackmail? For a merchant's daughter, you don't much about trade, do you? Let me give you a little lesson about market value. Oh, for fucks. The goods you're after are not cheap. Understand? Yeah, I ain't saying that. Hey, how about we... Cool. Hey, that... Man, it's a shame I don't have that tequila. Fuck. Older man, so I expect him to be very strong. But I couldn't break free of his grip and found myself entirely at his mercy. Yeah, of course. Beneath the gaudy outfits lay a hungry beast. I was seeing the creature's true colors for the first time that day. Aging man, slobbery tongue. Yeah. Cool. Placed his hands... Everything he placed his hands upon withered away. Uh-huh. Yeah. Rotted, decayed, rankled. Trembled in revulsion, in which the man laughed. seemingly interpreting it as something else. Wonder what kind of place hell was. If hell's wardens only flayed and carved their prisoners, I would have preferred that instead. Would have rather been sliced into tiny chunks and cast into hellfire. Would have chosen eternal atonement over being touched by this man another second, but I didn't get to choose my hell. Eventually the man forced to... Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't like that sentence. That's a sentence I don't ever want to see again. Listen to me, Giselle. It's in both our interests to keep this between the two of us. If you can do that, I'll continue to do good by you and your family. Oh, don't look at me like that, please. I'm thrilled to have you here in this house, Giselle. She has long since lost her mind after all. Huh? It's torture just being in the same room. And my sons, they hardly ever come home. But you, Giselle, you give color to my dull life. You make it exciting once it... Now go back to your room. I'll be waiting here at the same time next week. I couldn't escape from that man's grasp, not when he used my family against me. Some weeks I would just not go to his chambers, my one feeble means of resistance. But when I did that, he would send another Abigail to come find me the next day. I couldn't ignore summons when he got other people involved. And then when the two of us were alone, the mask would come off. And he would discipline me for not showing up before taking care of his usual business. On good days, he would leave bruises in inconspicuous places, abdomen, inner thighs. But he went as far as carving a word into my skin with a knife. Jesus Christ! Ha! That's why I was afraid of knives. That was why I was afraid of men shouting. I wasn't even sure what to regret anymore. I was in far too deep. There was no turning back the clock. I even considered taking my own life on more than one occasion. Every time the thought crossed my mind, happy memories came with it. Back when it was just the three of us girls in the shop. Life may not have been easy, but it was never dull either. I didn't want to end my life at its absolute low point. I wanted, if just temporarily, to go back to the way things were back then. That objective was the only thing that allowed me to keep going. When I was in his prison, I tried to convince myself I was merely an object. I had no emotion, so he couldn't hurt me. It's merely a vessel. Construct of flesh and bones. His hands couldn't reach my heart, for it is not connected to my body. Doing that made it a little easier to bear, but the reality was it was impossible to completely sever my heart from my body. Dear fucking Lord. Ay, ay, ay. You're Giselle, aren't you? One day the mistress of the estate stopped me in the halls. She had supposedly once been quite beautiful, but now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded and stripped of its luster. Her head down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing working its merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something eating away at her from the inside too. Something that could burst at the lightest touch. Yes, I am Giselle. Is there something I can do for you? The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I've been told it had been years since she attended family supper. So what would bring her to come looking for someone like me? You. What? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. I don't want to know the answer. You're having relations with my husband, aren't you? Oh, cool. It's just when it rains, it fucking pours. You are, aren't you? Madam. Uh-huh. You wretched creature. She was telling me the truth. One of my trusty maids caught a glimpse of you through a crack in the door. She saw you with him, you filthy rat. You seduced my husband. You devil, conniving witch. You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Anyone restrain this girl. She's a demon. A devil, tie her up and hand her over to the clergy. No, that won't be enough. A witch, you have to burn her bones, scatter the ashes, or she'll just come back to life. Dear Lord, woman. Yes, yes, execute her, kill this woman, burn the witch, seize the piece she's stolen from me. Cursed, it's cursed. This house is cursed. Not only has it taken away my daughter, now it's trying to take away my husband. Oh God, please shine thy cleansing light upon this house. I knew it would be a waste of breath trying to talk to her. She was not of sound mind. There was madness in her eyes. I didn't even have to make a fuss about it. It happened all on its own. If there was no way around it, then I should have just done it myself after the first time. What? I didn't have the energy to argue with her or cry or shout. Before long, a crowd came to form around me and the sobbing mistress. In it stood him. I assumed he would just stand back and watch, but much to my surprise, he stepped in with an embarrassed look on his face to try and settle his wife down and convince her not to have me executed. Fucking wonderful. Maybe he did have a heart after all. Or maybe he just wanted to save face. Regardless, instead of being burned at the stake, it was decided I would be sent away to some remote forest. One of the previous Bulger family heads had purchased a mansion there long ago, but it had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They said a cursed witch dwelled in the house. She had returned to life after being executed, and now skulked about in the darkness. It was a perfect place to banish a sinner. And so, accused of adultery, I was in a carriage on my way out of the capital the next day. I hope my mom and sister are all right. The two of them will believe in me, even if no one else does. When wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and his single sullied passenger. Looking out through the window, I could see the city walls slowly fading into the distance between us, or behind us. I doubt I would ever set foot in this land again. Ever cross the Grand Pont again. It was a saddening reality, but at the same time, I felt a surge of relief. I'd finally escaped from that house. I'd finally escaped from that man. The sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. Cool. A good while after we left the capital, the coachman handed me a letter. On the sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There was someone else already living at the house where I was to reside. The Bollinger's youngest child. But the letter didn't say why he had been sent to the cursed mansion, only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request. That I look after him and not ask any questions. Cool. So I'm not just being sent off to the middle of nowhere. I still have work to do. If I look whoever's at the mansion, then they'll do the same for my family. I don't have much to say in the matter either way, I suppose. The carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path and bouncing around inside it. I resolved to take back my life. Peace I had once known. The cheerfulness I had lost. And to do so I would forget. Lock away my memories. Bury every terrible thing that had happened to me. Cast aside those memories and find my smile once more. I have no idea who I'm going to find there, but they couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile, and do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. I figured since both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, there would probably be other things we had in common. And also, I would forget it all and get my life back. Get my smile back. Dear fucking Lord. And that was everything that led up to me arriving at the mansion. All the ones I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I've been trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe. Believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you? God, I can't take it anymore. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hands. Cool. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again this very moment. The rain was cooling me down on the outside, but so much nauseating heat I had built up in my gut. I vomited all over the ground. I threw up and I threw up and I threw up until there was nothing left but bile. When I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurred because of the rain or because my eyes had decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world was twisted before me. Michelle's no different. My attempts to get close to him, to always keep a smile on, was all a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying. Like he didn't believe in anything at all. So he probably wouldn't have believed me if I had told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an alternative mode, there's probably no changing his mind. Such a cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body, and then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, it might actually be nice. I'd like that. I always thought I didn't want to die, that I wanted to go back to the way things were, but who cares anymore? I did my best after all, and that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Gazelle was all just a farce. When I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade away with me. Oh God, I doubt you have a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman, and I've given up on living altogether. But even if I can't get into heaven, that's okay. I want release. Rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. Cold spread through my flesh and into my bones, my heart and lungs and stomach freezing me like a block of ice. Consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than feel, I felt relief. Utter black. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. Fucking hell. Huh? Jesus Christ. Well, that was horrific. I am even now putting her through a harrowing experience. Uh-huh. Digging up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened, and laying it all out before her once again. But I must get her back to who she once was, even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything, because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold? Your... Michelle. Uh-huh. Yes, my name is Michelle. I'm not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply, me. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Why I'm here? Or perhaps, why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clenched her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? There's still more we need to see, though, and it's still too soon for me to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. Once she's reclaimed herself, that is when I must tell her. Now, let us return to our past. Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought of what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me. I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. Wait, so then what the fuck is... we... Stay with me. Are you alright? Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. Really glad you're alive. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick. Like there's still something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please have something. I've got some milk on the fire. Bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you. Reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You'll feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma waft up with the steam from within the wooden cup. Boy, that took a fucking turn. Like, holy shit. That was a way to end that part. But that doesn't explain who the fucking... Just don't tell me that. That doesn't explain what we saw with the one... When we got fucking cursed, who the one chick was. Or was... No, that wasn't... I still have questions. I kind of want to go a little bit longer, but also... I'm gonna go like 20 more minutes. It's just like... Because I've seen what our name, who we are. They revealed that. Which, looking back on that makes sense now. Just because we were shrouded in the dark, it's like, okay, that makes sense. But like, oh, fuck. Is it gonna get worse? It's coming to the sweet smile. I lift the cup to my lips for just one sip. And the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. Ripples spread across the surface of the milk. Heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I'd lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what had happened to me or why I was here, who he was or even where this was. Spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. Felt like I was somewhere far, far away. Times I felt like a lost child, and times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Oh, God. What else are we gonna put her through, for fuck's sake? You know what? I don't want the answer to that, but we're gonna get the answer to that eventually. God damn it. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in A shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You look pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before. I'm not looking forward to those answers. You've been very generous despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Oh no, I accept that. We're gonna see the end of this. We're going to. It's like I've chosen to go down this hell. It's like I've jumped down the rabbit hole. We're falling straight to hell. I've made peace with that. We're gonna see where this ends. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You are alive now because God's guidance made it so. Hey, I don't want to see that word. Yeah, God. I came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you out on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? Hey, we don't want to talk about it. Hey, you don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. Yeah. You're not going to demand I talk. I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back. I can tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go. Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. Like I say, Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family life more difficult, but I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yeah, I would like to stay here. Yeah, that's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Amide? Amade? Just one lowly villager of many. I'm Giselle. Giselle, that's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself. It shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less. Representative, like the chief. Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings, so rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here in a minute. I'm probably gonna stream this all week, to be honest. Liable to think I'm acting unordained. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. I gotta get shit ready for tomorrow anyway. Cause this was bugging the shit out of me last night, like where I ended with that cliffhanger. I'm kind of shocked at where it's willing to go. Like, when I saw that warning, I knew that it was gonna go places, but holy shit, and I don't think we've exactly gotten deep into that. Because, like, the first, 3 doors was like, okay, I sort of get why you have that. And then this happened, and it's like, oh, I see now. you're not going to hold anything back. And I can appreciate that a lot. Like, this may end up being probably the best thing I play this fucking year. Like, story-wise. Oh, cool. See, we are gonna fall straight to hell. Wonderful. Aw, see, you're just giving me a reminder I need to pick up tequila or something. Who knows? I don't have any moonshine anymore, so that kind of sucks. I should... Well, I don't know any place near here that has moonshine. I don't think I'll do this Friday just because I want to actually play something on Friday. Just to break it up. But, yeah, I don't know if I'll stream every day this week, but it will be most of them this week. I probably will tomorrow, and then we'll see about Wednesday. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's wonderful. That's great. Oh, that's just... cool. Horrendous in the best way. Oh, that's... wonderful. That's... Oh, it's gonna be a long week. It's gonna be a long week. Let's say, I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up tomorrow. Oh, there's artwork for it. Oh, that's even better. That's... great. Cool. So, yeah. Wonderful. See, I need to get, like, I need to get an old, like, comforter and stuff up, get a used pillow, and make a trauma corner, don't I? Cool. I'll put it in the room, my closet, to this game. Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm not doubting that. Yeah, I'll put it in the room. I'll have it in the room with my rowing machine, because I do that for misery, so I might as well just make that the misery room. God damn it. Oh, god damn it. Alright, I'm gonna call it. Because I gotta get that done. Because I'm tired. I really didn't sleep all that much last night. Just because like, where I ended was just running through my head for, like, hours after that. Like, I didn't sleep for, like, a couple hours after that stream. I don't think I fell asleep till, like, 1 in the morning, and even then I woke up again, which sucked. Because it took, like, a half hour to go back to sleep. So, it's been a long video. Today has been a long day. Like, shit. Yeah, well, we'll probably